biggest thing to get ahead is to stay ahead. All right, good morning, guys. We're going to be sitting here talking about not so much to you entrepreneurs today, but you guys that are maybe working out there in the field, maybe you've clicked on a video or two to see kind of what you're maybe expecting on your first day, but maybe you're heading off for your first day, or maybe you've been on a crew for a couple of weeks and you feel like you're not enjoying it because you really don't know how to fit in, maybe coming from a different industry, whatever it may be. But I'm going to give you a few tips and tricks for, not just the new guy, but maybe you've been somewhere for a long time and you want to show a few different attributes to get you to that next level. This video's for you today, guys. So with that said, first things first, this should be everybody's thought process. Ask questions. Literally ask questions, guys. When you're out there, a guy that's coming to me on his first couple of days that stands there and asks questions and is just annoying about it almost, at least it shows me that this guy wants to learn. This guy actually cares enough to keep bugging the important people for the information, because in our world, guys, generally speaking, foremen, superintendents, anyone above you is not just going to give it to you. They're going to watch your work ethic. They're going to see how you are with other team members. Are you a problem for the other, crews, or that all weighs in there. But day 1, ask some questions. Day 4, ask some questions. Week 4, just always continue to learn. There's every day in the utility space for sure is a new day. You can learn something brand new every single day, and I do believe that's with from the top to the bottom and bottom to the top. In the excavation space, you can learn something new every day. You're going around town acting like you know everything, probably not going to get very far. But number 1, we're going to be asking questions, and you're like, well, they just don't give me the right answer. Well, a lot of times they're going to act like, well, that should be common sense, man. You should know that. Sometimes you just flat don't know, and I get it. It's kind of frustrating, and you're like, you ask the questions, and you keep getting these, smart responses, or these guys just make fun of you, but at least they're responding, okay? All they're trying to do is, number 1, make sure you got thick enough skin for this industry. Number 2, do you know how many other yous they have sat there and talked to? You got to think about that guy in that machine or that guy in that truck putting the job together. He has had 20 yous come through here. What sets you apart? Can you take a little razzing? Can you, if they're razzing and picking at you, that means they like you, guys. If they don't like you, they ain't going to talk to you. They ain't going to tell you no information, let you stand up on that ditch with your shovel in your hand until boss man shows up enough times to can you. That's how you're going to know if you're not fitting in. But if they're razzing on you, picking on you, they're just trying to figure out, does this guy have thick enough skin? Maybe some of your responses to your questions, you're like, sorry, I'm asking all these questions, but they keep giving me these smart aleck response, and I just don't understand it because I don't know the industry. If they're giving you a response at all, that's a good thing, okay? Get a couple months down the road, you ask a lot of questions in the first couple of weeks. Honestly, they're just seeing if you're going to be here for the long term, rather than, oh, it's hot outside, or oh, it rained and we didn't work, or oh, it snowed out, whatever the case may be, and you bounce. They're just checking to see if you're going to be in this for a long haul. But at week 4 or month 4, you're going to start getting a lot different your answers to your questions, but your questions are going to be a lot different as well. They're not going to be so 30,000 foot view. Hey, why are we digging a hole? I get it. You can ask that question. Hey, we're going to put a piece of pipe in it, or hey, we need to lower this grade because this material's bad. Nobody wants to sit there and explain that to you yet, because by the time you get a year or 2 in it, you're going to understand why we're digging the hole. Now, you may sit there and go, well, we're putting this pipe together. In 100 feet, we're going to need a T. And you're just going to start asking different questions, and they're going to start giving you different answers. So don't get detoured right off the bat. with asking those dumb questions. These guys want to know if you care enough to actually learn their trade. Secondly, is don't be afraid to jump in the hole. I see it time after time after time. Guys don't want to ask any questions. These guys are not going to tell you the information. And if you're standing 5 feet, 8 feet above them, and you're not asking to either jump in the box, lane sewer, or figure out what wrench goes on what bolt, bolting up mega lugs, and you're not down there sweating and sweat pouring off your nose with them, I'm telling you, they're not going to respect you as much. Nobody's going to, this is how you properly do it. We're actually doing some training videos here because we have the infrastructure to do that, but some personal 5 to 10 videos that these new hires are actually getting to watch before they hit the field. It's kind of cool. But at the same time, don't be a shovel holder. The truck does a great job holding the shovels, okay? They need a guy when the foreman or superintendent says, well, we need to jump down in there. You better be the first one to jump down there. They just want to see you jump. Doesn't matter if you get down there and look silly. Let them boys that have earned their spot up on top of that ditch instruct you. They're going to instruct you from the top of the ditch because they can take one look at it after being 3 or 4 years down there and go, yeah, that ain't right. Those threads on either side of that fitting, those are a little bit longer. These are a little bit shorter. I think you may need to unbolt that before you bust the mega lugs off. Whatever the case may be, but you're going to learn when he goes, oh man, I didn't even pay attention to those threads on this side being longer and this side being shorter, but I can look from the top of a ditch and see if a fitting went put good together. The gap between the actual fitting, the mega lug and the fitting, you know, if it's wonky jawed on one side and then real close on the other, I know there's a potential spot, and that's the stuff that I'm looking for, and same thing your foreman and superintendent are looking for. But the experience you gain from putting that fitting together in 100-degree heat, taking that fitting off and cussing yourself the whole time putting that fitting back together, or you may had to get another fitting because you busted off the mega lugs or maybe caused some rework. Those are the moments that are going to teach you the most in growth, making those mistakes. And it's okay. Those guys want you to make mistakes because you want to know how they learned. They made mistakes. So if you don't jump down in there, work with them, figure it out, don't get in their way. If it's 115 degrees and they're sweating and they're trying to get something done, just jump down there and start learning and passing those wrenches. That's how you're going to figure out what size bolt is on an 8-inch mega lug or a 12x8 saddle tap or flange. You're going to figure out all those wrenches, all those sockets, being down there, passing those tools back and forth to that guy. Trust me, I have been there. I've been the tool passer. I've been the guy working with no tool passer. A lot of times we're standing on our heads trying to put a fitting together in whatever parameter, whether we're working on, repairing something, new install. Normally you can dig out and have a little bit more room, but I know a lot of you guys do maintenance contracts and a lot of you guys work for municipalities that fix brakes. You guys are down there standing on your head, and I know that because I've been there myself, trying to either underwater, put a clamp on something, water spraying in your face, cuticles just getting absolutely razor bladed by the pressure of a service line. You can't teach that. You just got to learn it. And the only way you're going to learn it is getting down there with them. Now, I will tell you, heed my warning here. Sometimes they're going to tell you to get the hell out of the hole very quickly. You need to learn, there's great videos here on YouTube, or jump over the Excavation Academy, and teach you those OSHA competent soil types, what you need to be looking at. I know this is going a little far off in the weeds, but you need to know that 4 to 5 foot ditch, you don't jump in past that point. Well, if it's at your shoulders, somebody needs to be doing some type of benching, at least alleviating some room, because yeah, you're 6 foot tall, but when you bend over, you're 3 feet. So you're not thinking. That goes along with, the questions you start to learn and ask as you gain a little bit more experience, right? If you ever jump off in a hole and you're sitting here thinking, well, I'm doing what that guy told me on the video, yeah, they're going to love it. But then hopefully if they're a good super or foreman, they're going to grab you and go, hey, love the effort, but this is why we can't jump in there. That spoil pile, that excavator's coming over to drag that spoil pile back because this 6-foot wall over here is kind of scaring me before you get down in there. And it's those things, and him telling you that, you're gonna go, oh, yeah, I didn't even see that. That's a lot of weight and pressure on that wall. It may be 5-6 feet away from you, but that dirt can come in on you so fast. So just heed their warning. You want to be jumping down in there as much as you can. That's where you're going to learn, not up on the top holding a shovel. But at the same time, don't be offended when they say, hey, get the hell out of the way. I want to get this done. I want to go home. Okay, what tools you need? Let me run to the truck and grab those tools instead of just standing there and holding your shovel. And then the third thing is, this is for you guys that have made a couple of months and you're starting to figure out the rhythm of the crew. The biggest thing to get ahead is to stay ahead. Is literally, you're starting to maybe take a sneak peek at the prints, understanding that, oh, okay, another 100 feet, we've got a hydrant coming, there's a T, there's a valve, or oh my gosh, between these two manholes, we've got 22 services to run. Let me start laying out those Ys. Whatever you can do to string out pipe ahead of you. Okay, bed and box in this area is going to be needing. Let me hop in the loader and move the bed and box over here, get it full so the digger man can keep just pulling along with him. Whatever the case may be, just stay ahead. Carry a notepad with you too, like just a small notepad. You can use your phone as well. Most guys have got their phones on them, but man, a notepad that it's all weather that you can shoot, as your foreman and your superintendent is sitting there yelling out grades, or, oh, okay, we're going to have to be 1.72 minus 0.93 and all that, and he's working that math. Work that math in your own notebook so that when he's standing there the next time and go, hey, what was our grade again? Because he's going to forget because he's got emails and crap coming from the office, and you're going to whip out your little notebook and go, you told us 0.93, boss. And watch the response you get. Just trying to be just a little bit ahead of the game. And all that does is create efficiencies, morale boosts, and it shows everybody that you're trying and you want to do better, what's going to make them do better. And so in the first couple of months, man, just show up, be on time. I know that sounds so simple, but if the job starts at 7, the job starts at 7. Show up at 6:55, get out of the truck, get the tools out. Hopefully your foreman, superintendent's there, ready to rock. But the other thing is do everything that they ask you to. They don't ask much of you. Make sure it's done. And when they ask you the first time, just keep doing it until they tell you different. Like, don't make them say it again. These guys that are out there, especially if you're in the southeastern or south of the United States, you deal with heat. Everywhere does, but really in the south, you've never really experienced the humidity like you have in some of these southeastern states. And being 10 feet in the ground in a box with no wind, it can get hot. Tempers can flare is where I'm going with this. So if you're told something once, listen and retain that information is where I'm going with this. Is retain every bit of information you can. Write it down in your book. When you don't understand, ask a question, and don't take the picking and the razzing that as of these guys don't want me here. No, they're actually just trying to see if you're actually going to stick it out. So guys, I truly hope that helped you today. Keep at it, keep in the grind, one step in front of the other, win the day up here. And if you lose one, you lose a couple of days, that's okay. There's a win coming. Fix it in your mind. Go win the day. Be safe, be kind, be humble, guys.